Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to blow your mind. I'm going to teach you how you can take any idea that you have and turn it into a digital product. We're going to talk about how you would start with a low ticket product. Like my last video when I talked about the small business sprint strategy, that $7 digital course. I'm going to show you how you can walk your buyers up the value ladder in order to sell them on multiple $1,000 courses and programs. But before we do that, I want to take this time to publicly thank the Lord Jesus Christ for bringing me to digital marketing back in 2018. Honestly, it's a failure on my part that I've never said this before. But 7 years ago, I watched an ad on YouTube, I clicked on it, and before I knew it, I was intrigued enough to buy a course about digital marketing. That gave me my foundation, and within a year and a half, I was able to completely leave retail, and now I do digital marketing full time. It hasn't just been a game changer for me, it has changed my life, it has changed the life of my family. God has put me on this path, and I just want to publicly thank Him. Now get your idea ready, we're going to dive into the training. Let's go to my office. All right, the first thing you want to do is you want to come up with the idea. Now, if this is your first time doing this, you might want to start with a high-level overview of what an idea could look like for your digital marketing funnel, for your online business, for your digital products. The easiest thing to do is use any free version of AI. So let's check out what I did with ChatGPT. I asked it to find me 10 good ideas that I could use. I put it into the perspective of a value ladder, and what you're going to notice is it gave me every single step of the value ladder. So a value ladder simply is typically you're going to start with a free lead magnet. Think about the word lead magnet. That's not a phone, that's a magnet. It's pulling people to you with something that's of value to them, even though they don't have to pay for it. As soon as they opt in, it puts them on your email list. Those contacts are super important because then you can upsell, you can downsell them all the way up this value ladder. So what is a value ladder? Well, typically you have low ticket, then you have mid ticket, then you have high ticket. And yes, most 5-year-olds have better penmanship than me. Stay with me. Low ticket is anything from $1 to $100. Mid ticket, typically anything over $100 all the way up to $1,000. High ticket, anything over $1,000 plus. So now what you need to do is you need to take your idea and you need to niche down. Health, wealth, relationships. Those are the big three. I asked the new ChatGPT 5 to give me the value ladder for meal prepping for busy moms. This is what it gave me. You'll notice it gave me steps up the value ladder. It gave me different digital products and services that take the potential client all the way up this value ladder. Everything from lead magnets, which could be ebooks, PDFs, a simple mini course, up to the low ticket, which you could sell as a mini course, maybe put some video modules together. And guess what? AI can even write the scripts for you for those mini courses. If you're an expert at something, awesome. If you're not, it really doesn't matter at this point in time. Now let's talk about the funnels that you're actually building with your value ladder. Let's say you have a $7 mini course. Well, you have to have a sales page for that with a place for them to actually order the product. As soon as they order that product, you have several options. You can just take them to a thank you page. Here's your thing. What I would suggest is that you use this opportunity for an upsell. If somebody's willing to pay $7, a percentage of the people that pay $7 will also pay $47 if they can speed up the process. So let's say your $7 offer is a simple 3-module video course about XYZ. The $47 offer might give them even more videos. It might give them documentation to help them speed up their journey. And the people that are ready to see results, the people that want the solution that you're providing here, if you can give them the solution quicker, they're going to pay more for it. So this is going to be your upsell. And typically on any funnels, especially ClickFunnels, which as you can tell, I do a lot of work with ClickFunnels. I make funnels in my sleep, literally. I dream about funnels. On an upsell page, you have a simple button that they can click. They don't have to put in their information again. Their billing info, credit card number, all that stuff is saved. When they get to this page, all they have to do is click this one-time offer button. That is the upsell. Or they can click some text that says, no thanks, I'd rather do this on my own with the $7 product first. Something simple like that. When they click that, then it takes them to the thank you page, and the thank you page will basically have the receipt for them. And very important here, your new buyer needs to know, what is my next step or next steps? Make that very clear for them here. Put a link to the course, whatever you need to do there. So now I want to talk about something that's super important. Now you have all of these contacts. Okay, you got this guy, you got this girl, you got this girl, you got this guy. You need to put all of them into a long email sequence. And you need to follow what I call VVP. The first email anybody gets needs to be giving them access to whatever they just purchased. Say they only bought the $7 thing. You need to give them instant access through an email, okay? Then everybody that buys this product, they need to go to the next email, which is pure value. You need to give them value. AI can help you write these emails. Think about the meal plan for busy moms. If somebody opts in for a free lead magnet, great, give it to them. And then don't try to sell them something right off the bat. Don't try to pitch them again. So this V, again, is value. The P is pitch. Do not pitch, pitch, pitch. Nobody likes that. The more value you give people, the more they're going to warm up to you, the more they're going to trust you, and the more they're going to be ready when you actually do pitch them. So that first email, extreme value. That next email, more pure value. AI, again, can write it for you. It can give you long form email copy with great stats, next steps, SOPs, standard operating procedures. But then when you pitch, it shouldn't be confusing. You need to tell them, hey, by the way, I hope you're liking your $7 XYZ course. Your next step, if you want to XYZ without having to XYZ, like you're looking at pain points, pleasure points, then you really need my blah, 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 whatever that next thing is, up the value ladder. It's probably going to be a mid-ticket. Now, I have tested this several ways. What you can do in your VVP sequence is the first pitch could be either a mid-ticket or a high ticket. It is your choice, and I highly recommend that you split test everything that you're doing. Let the data tell you. Let's say everybody takes you up on this mid-ticket offer. Well, you're probably leaving money on the table. Maybe you should try pitching your high-ticket offer. Maybe it's a $2,000 masterclass that also gives them access to weekly coaching calls with you. Maybe it's an in-person event, a 2-day in-person mastermind at a local hotel so you don't have to travel. They pay you a high-ticket price, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, depending on the niche that you're in, depending on the products and the services that you're actually selling, is going to dictate how much you can charge. AI can also help you come up with the pricing for this. This is where the downsell comes in. So what we're assuming now is they've bought your low ticket. Okay, that's done. Now they're in your sequence. And now you send them not to the mid ticket, but you send them to the high ticket with that pitch email. If they don't want this high ticket product, a lot of your buyers are going to need to be warmed up just a little bit longer in order to pay even more, that high ticket price. But some of them are ready for mid ticket, but you never know until you try, until you pitch them. So this all looks like a funnel, okay? More people are obviously going to jump into a free lead magnet, okay? A smaller percentage of people are going to get the low ticket, an even smaller percentage the mid ticket, an even smaller percentage the high ticket. At the bottom of this, you have multiple streams of income with different digital marketing products that you can ultimately grow your revenue. But this downsell opportunity is extremely important. If you pitch them the high and they don't want it, then you go VVP again. The next time you pitch, you're actually downselling them to this mid ticket. If they weren't ready to pay, let's say $2,000, well, maybe they will pay $497 3 days later when you pitch them on the mid ticket. The last thing I want to tell you is, if you remember when we were sending people after they purchased that first thing, we were sending them to the high ticket. We were sending them to a mid ticket or a high ticket. Well, what if you sent them directly to the high ticket, but instead of no thank you taking them to a thank you page with their purchase, that no thank you takes them to the mid ticket. So you're downselling initially. Somebody sees something online for $7. They're like, oh, I think that might help me. They buy that, they go to a high ticket page, like, whoa, like, where are you coming out with this 2,500 thing? I'm not ready for this. No, I'm not ready for this. Then you take them down, you downsell them on a 297 thing, which you have just done something that's extremely important with marketing. It's called price anchoring. They see that $2,500. Now, you might get a 0.05% conversion on that high ticket directly from that $7 product. Some people, it's not the money. The money isn't the objection. For some people, money isn't the problem. Their pain is the problem. They have a pain in their life, and your solution, if it can help them, and money is no object for that person, well, they're going to go ahead and buy the high ticket. It's not many. Again, you need to put them in the email sequence. That's going to give you a much higher conversion rate over time. I know a guy named Anthony Morrison. He's doing over $2 million a month with a very similar funnel. but his email sequence is 6 months long. I got to meet up with him at Funnel Hacking Live, and I got to ask him a question. Now, most people might say, wow, why is your email sequence 6 months long? That is so long. You know what I asked him? Why isn't it 7 months? How come it's not 8 months long? He said, oh man, he looked at me like, that's a good question. Like, nobody asked me that. The reason is because he did split test a longer sequence, and he found nobody was buying after around the 6 month mark. Even the 6 month mark, there's few buyers that are trickling in. But he has it that long just in case, because there's something called the whole thin market concept. That concept says that you never know at any given time when you're going to show your product to somebody that needs it that day. If you put the right offer in front of the right person at the right time, people buy. The problem is you only have control over two of those three things: the right offer and the right person. Your offer, your solution to their problem, that's step one. And then you can use paid ads to target the right buyer. The problem is you never know the right timing of it, which is why the longer your sequence, the better, because somebody that wasn't ready to buy last month, well, now they're ready. Last point I want to drive home is none of this works if you don't take enough time at the beginning and solidify your idea. I recommend that the idea that you have, the things that you're going to be building to sell to people online, those digital products, have it be in a niche in an industry that you actually enjoy. That's going to excite you to build the products out, and you're going to come across as more genuine when you're pitching these digital products. You might have noticed I left the light bulb on the entire time. That's because your idea is the most important piece of this thing. Choose an industry or a vertical like health, wealth, or relationships to help people with whatever their pain points are. There are literally hundreds of millions of people on the internet every day searching for solutions to their problems. If you can provide that solution and take them up that value ladder, you'll have buyers and you'll grow your revenue. But choose something that you're actually interested in, because if you're excited about the products and services, that'll help you get through those grind moments where you're just building funnels out. You don't want to burn yourself out on something that you don't care about, because then you're going to jump to the next shiny object. Trading crypto, affiliate marketing, MLM. You don't need any of that. You need an idea and a value ladder. Done. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I had fun. I hope you learned a bunch. It would be great if you could give this video one of these. Make sure to subscribe and turn notifications on so you don't miss the next one. Peace.